for it all. Maybe.
Hey guys, what's up? Abby here from Safari Pedals. I am in Riverside, California with Shawn Sullivan.
Hello.
Thank you for having me through.
Welcome to our ghetto estate here in Riverside.
Indeed. You guys can't see the outside of the studio, but
got chickens.
Yeah.
And some ducks running around.
Yeah, but after hopping over the chickens and ducks, we made it.
Yeah. You can make it through.
Stunning studio. So thank you again for having me through.
Yeah, thanks for coming out.
Appreciate it. So before we dive in and talk some crap, let's start with start with who you are, what you do, and we'll take it from there.
Okay. Well, as she mentioned, Shawn Sullivan, World Class Audio. So yeah, I'm the owner, run the studio here at World Class Audio, and been here since 2005. So been here a minute, and record local groups and groups from LA and San Diego and kind of regional kind of area, I would say. Yeah, I'm basically a producer, engineer, mixer, editor. That's what I do.
You do all the things. We're all that.
I do what I got to do, So sometimes sometimes I pick up a guitar on occasion, so I'll do that sometimes. And then totally dependent on the artist and what they need, So if they need somebody to help them with some production. If they come in and their stuff sounds golden, I step back and I'm just more in performance notes. And so I kind of try to be a chameleon and do what I need to do to help their project out, but not get too into it if I don't have to, as far as messing with their baby.
I love that. I love the chameleon analogy. Like, what got you into the world of audio in the first place?
Oh, yeah. Well, I was 9 years old and started playing guitar. My voice is like this because I have it on cassettes. And we were doing some punk. I had a little punk songs that I wanted to do, mainly ragging on other kids that didn't like or they didn't like me. And so I started recording on a realistic, cassette deck. That's what there was. And then the frustration of sounding like a 9-year-old, and then also the recording, things would distort, and I'd go, I have to turn the level down, and learning ridiculous gain stage at that age, but it's you just learn I'm frustrated, this doesn't sound good, what do I need to do? And here I am a million years later and it still doesn't sound good. So
A for effort though.
Yeah, I'm still trying. I'm still in her, but yeah, seriously, that's kind of how it started. And so then I started, junior high hit, got into a band with some other guys, like-minded, crazy kids, and we started making a little punk music, and we got a 4-track. Me and my buddy Jim Bridges got a 4-track cassette deck, and we actually literally delivered papers all summer long until we could save up an unimaginable amount of money, which is $5 or $50 back then. Was like when you're that age, it's insane. Excuse me. So yeah, then we got that. We completely wore that thing out. We literally mechanically wore the head down all the way. We had the heads replaced twice, and just did thousands of hours of recording. And then went from that to reel-to-reel, 8-track. I thought I was really a baller then. And it went from 8-track reel-to-reel to a 16-track reel-to-reel. And by then 8-ats were happening. So I had some 8-ats, and they were kind of terrible, but but people did still good records on 8-ats. Queensryche did a whole thing. And so went from 8-ats into, by then I got into junior college and was doing 2-inch tape. It's oh my God, 2-inch tape. And a Neve console. It was a straight up Neve console, which sounded amazing. So 2-inch MCI. And then Sound Designer and Sound Designer 2 hit, which is the earliest version of precursor to Pro Tools, and got into that. And then from that went to Sound Tools, and I had a 4-channel Sound Tools interface. I'm wow, I can edit. And then from that, just kept going. So got into a TDM rig, which was unbelievably expensive back in the day, and decided to get it secondhand and get a small one and kind of work my way up. Just been using Pro Tools for a long time before it was called Pro Tools.
Wow.
So yeah, dating myself, but it's a bad date.
Yeah. But that's awesome. So before we pop the camera on, we did a little, I'll throw in some B-rolls of the studio and the live room, and you have your live room set up, gear ready to go. What went in for you into choosing the gear you have, how you set it up? Is there kind of a mindset behind that?
Yeah, there is. You buy into some marketing hype as you start learning, and you go, it's okay. Actually, this is a split question. So there's a whole lot of buying and trying things, and you find out that's not your thing, right? And really it's not your thing because you don't know what you're doing. And so a lot of times you'll get something and go, that's not as cool as everybody told me. Well, it's not cool because you're not actually using it properly. So there's that. But then there's also like, remember back in the day, you had a 414, you had 421s, you had 441 Sennheisers, right? You had, Neumann U87s, or you didn't have it because it was expensive. All the low level stuff back at that time was kind of garbage. So, I was using like a PZM, pressure zone mic from Radio Shack that was like a pretty good mic for $40, right? And it's like the next thing up is like $1,500 back then, which is like $3,000 now for 414. So like getting into that level of gear, as soon as you could get that gear, it was like, oh my God, now I see what the big deal is. All this stuff is amazing. 1170, the original 1176E, I had one of those, and it was awesome. But yeah, the main thing was the learning curve and the amount of gear that you start adding on. You start learning in little stages and you start figuring out what you don't like. Okay, this isn't doing it for me. I don't know why people like this. There's certain big manufacturer pieces of gear I don't like. Other people swear by it and their records sound great. I just don't like certain things. And you learn what you like. And just because you don't like it doesn't mean somebody else can't make a great record with it. So that's about it.
I love that approach. And then like based on that, that's how you accumulated and
you just start accumulating and buying, selling stuff, and you start figuring out weird stuff like that, off the screen.
Off the screen. I will B-roll. We will put it.
Yeah. 1950s cinema engineering mic pre's. And it's like a weird thing that I learned about from an old tech of mine who's a great guy. And he's like, hey man, if you ever get a chance to hear these cinema engineering mic pre's, or line amps, you should get them. And so, yeah, if I came across some and weird stuff that almost nobody kind of has, but it's like, it's great. I mean, it's absolutely phenomenal. It's flat from 20 hertz to 20K in the 50s, 1950s. So it's just crazy high spec kind of lab stuff, But yeah, again, you kind of just learn, and then you're influenced by everybody else around you. So you're going to like take little bits and pieces from that. And yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We'll attach picture of said gear. Since you guys can't see anything, we'll not leave you in the dark on that. That would be not nice.
Yeah, and then like a lot of people, I've got project pieces of gear. Like there's 1970s op amp lab, but yeah, so like got little kind of project pieces of like this 70s op amp lab board that has like passive EQs on every channel. It's just high band, low band with selectable frequency, and it works, but it's kind of a project thing. I bought it to just, I'm going to put direct outs in it. It's like, yeah, but is that going to mess the signal up? Which, yes, it will. It'll change it. So, but that thing's kind of chilling, looks amazing, but it's just kind of chilling there,
I love that. I also wanted to touch on this also before we pop the camera on. I asked you if you had like kind of like what we wanted to like dive into in the video. And I asked like, do you have like an overarching philosophy, principle, recording, mixing, working with people? And you said you don't. But then you also kind of touched a little bit on, because I also think not having a philosophy is also...
It's be a chameleon in a way, because if I have a philosophy, there's no one size fits all to me. Every band's different. Every artist is different. Every group that comes in has a different dynamic. And sometimes, not super often, but sometimes a band comes in and they do have a concept. And my job is literally to capture, kind of like the Steve Albini approach, where he was like anti-producer, right? So he was like, okay, I'm there to capture their performance and not get in the way of what they're doing. Now, that's cool if that's what the band needs, right? So I've got one band I'm working with where I get on them about performance and timing on a few things, but their arrangements, they're solid. I don't need to touch it. I don't need to weigh in and go, I'm kind of feeling the bridge needs a little bit of je ne sais quoi right here. It's like they don't need it. Like they got it. So for them, I'm a producer only in the sense of performance and tones, not arrangement. So another band comes in and they're like, they have no idea, right? They might have a cool like basic building block of a song where like it's like, hey, what would be cool if you guys just did this harmonic going do 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 and just did this harmonic, and like now they're playing like sold out shows, and there's like I hear that part pop up and it's like ha it's like but it's cool, but it's like it's if you have a good idea, then and that band's open to it, then that's cool. You should communicate that to them if they're ready for it, if they want it. If they don't want it, then you could be like, well, I have an idea, but you guys let me know if you want to hear it. So, you know what I mean? It's like that relationship thing for real. It is. You know, so that's the thing. It's like if you don't have a respect and camaraderie with them, then they're not going to listen to your ideas. So you have to build that up first. And if it's some young band and they're like, yeah, we heard my friend's band that you did, and we want to come in and get the same sound or whatever, they come in, they're not the same band. They're not going to get the same sound. They're going to get the sound they get. So it's so you got to build that rapport, and once you have it, then they're listening to you. Then they're like, "Hey, do you have an idea for harmony?" Like, yes, I do.
Glad you asked.
Yes, I do have ideas. I don't know if you want them or not, but but anyways, there you go.
To sum up everything we spoke about, do you have any additional things to drop to the Safari world?
Wow. Well, just keep doing what you're doing, Safari, because you're making some great plugins, and I love it. I love the combination of grit and reverb, and now you got your clipper, which I haven't even heard yet, but I will. We'll get it. No, I'm digging everything I'm hearing from you guys, and the aesthetics and the way it looks is amazing. So not to fluff you guys up too much, but yeah, you guys are doing a great job. Just keep doing it.
Appreciate it, dude. Thank you, and thank you so much for having me through the studio.
My pleasure. Thanks for coming out.
And all that good stuff. I'm not very good at ending these videos, but I'll say once again, thank you to Shawn, and I'll catch you guys somewhere else in the Safari universe thing. So, bye.